You were not born to repeat yesterday. You were not put on this earth to wake up, scroll through your phone, go through the motions, and fall asleep just to do it all over again. Life is not a treadmill, it's a journey. Yet, so many people are stuck walking in circles, trapped in routines that no longer serve them. They confuse activity with progress and business with purpose. Every day becomes a copy of the last, and before they know it, years have passed and nothing has really changed. Each morning you open your eyes, life gives you a blank page. What you choose to write on it determines the story you live. But most people let others write their pages for them. Expectations, responsibilities, fears, and the comfort of the familiar. They wake up not to build something new, but to survive what they've already built. That is not living. That is maintenance. And you were meant for creation, not maintenance. Repeating yesterday is the easiest thing you can do. It asks nothing of you, it risks nothing, and it costs nothing. But it also gives you nothing. Growth only happens when you do something different, when you decide that today will not be a copy of what came before. It's in that moment of discomfort, that moment of decision, that you begin to see who you really are and what you're capable of becoming. Change begins with awareness. You have to notice the loop you're in before you can break it. Ask yourself, am I living or am I repeating? Am I waking up with intention or habit? When you begin to see the patterns that keep you stuck, you also begin to see the doors that can set you free. Every repetitive action, every limiting belief, every familiar fear, these are signals pointing you toward what needs to shift. It's easy to blame circumstances, timing, or even other people for why you stay the same. But the truth is, the power to evolve is always within you. The world will not hand you transformation. It's not something that arrives at your doorstep. It's something you must decide to create day after day through deliberate choices that move you closer to the life you want. Every single day is an invitation to begin again. Yesterday's mistakes do not define you. Yesterday's fears do not have to follow you. You can rewrite the script. You can change the rhythm. But you have to want it enough to take that first step, to stop replaying the same story in your mind and start authoring a new one. That is the difference between those who grow and those who remain stuck, the courage to begin again. Repetition brings comfort, but comfort rarely brings growth. We cling to routines because they feel safe, predictable, and known. But in doing so, we trade the thrill of possibility for the dullness of certainty. You cannot discover new oceans by staying on the same shore. You cannot evolve by holding on to what you've already mastered. Every new version of yourself demands that you let go of the old one. The beauty of life is that it renews itself constantly. Seasons change, tides shift, and so can you. You don't have to wait for a perfect moment. The act of choosing differently creates that moment. The only thing standing between where you are and where you want to be is the belief that you must keep doing what you've always done. Break that belief, and you break the cycle. When you stop repeating yesterday, you start living with awareness. You start paying attention to the way you speak, the choices you make, the people you allow in your circle, and the habits that shape your reality. Life becomes intentional, not accidental, and with intention comes clarity. You begin to see that every decision is a seed, and the quality of your life depends on which seeds you plant each day. There's nothing wrong with routine if it serves your growth. But when it becomes a cage, you must find the courage to step out, because you were not designed to live on repeat. You were designed to evolve, to explore, to expand. Every sunrise is proof that life resets, that you can begin again, that yesterday's version of you doesn't have to define who you wake up as today. Purpose is your direction, not a destination. It isn't a place you arrive at one day with a sigh of relief, claiming you've finally made it. It's not a trophy, a title, or a finish line. Purpose is a compass, a quiet but unwavering force that guides your steps even when the path ahead is uncertain. So many people waste years chasing what they think will bring them happiness, only to find that success without purpose feels hollow. They climb ladders leaning against walls that don't matter, and when they reach the top, they realize they've been climbing in the wrong direction all along. When you see purpose as a destination, you start believing that one day everything will make sense, that there will be a single moment when clarity strikes and your life suddenly aligns. But purpose doesn't arrive that way. It's discovered in motion. It's uncovered through effort, reflection, and experience. It grows with you. It shifts as you learn more about yourself and the world around you. It isn't about where you end up. It's about how you choose to walk the path before you. Every choice you make is an expression of your purpose. Every word you speak, every habit you practice, every relationship you nurture or neglect, they all point in a direction. Even doing nothing points somewhere. The question is not whether you have a purpose, it's whether you're paying attention to where it's taking you. Some people wander through life with their compass spinning, reacting to everything that happens instead of steering themselves toward what truly matters. Finding purpose doesn't start with asking, what do I want to do? It starts with asking, why do I care? Because the why fuels the what. The why is what keeps you moving when the work is hard. When no one claps, when failure knocks at your door. Without it, even success feels meaningless. But when you know your why, the obstacles don't vanish. You just stop letting them define you. You start seeing them as part of the journey, not as signs to turn back. Purpose demands introspection. It asks you to sit quietly with yourself and listen to what your life has been trying to tell you. It asks you to notice the moments that made you come alive, not just the moments that made you comfortable. It calls you to see patterns in your passions, in your pain, in your persistence, because purpose is often hidden beneath the very things that challenged you the most. You don't find your purpose by chasing every opportunity or comparing your path to someone else's. You find it by aligning your daily actions with what you believe in. You find it when your behavior matches your values, when your work reflects your heart, when your days are filled with what truly matters to you, not what others expect from you. The power of purpose is not in its grandness, but in its consistency, showing up every day for something you believe has meaning. Too many people wait for purpose to appear like a lightning bolt. They keep waiting for the perfect sign, the perfect timing, the perfect plan. But purpose doesn't shout. It whispers. It speaks in the small choices you make when no one's watching. It reveals itself when you take responsibility for how you show up in the world, when you decide that your life will be about contribution, not just consumption. Once you begin to live with purpose, even the smallest actions carry significance. A conversation, a decision, a gesture of kindness, they all become expressions of your direction. The way you treat others, the effort you give, the patience you show, all of it becomes a reflection of something deeper. Purpose turns ordinary days into meaningful ones because you start to see everything you do as part of a larger picture, even if you can't see the full image yet. And the truth is, purpose doesn't eliminate struggle. It gives struggle meaning. It doesn't erase fear. It gives you a reason to walk through it. When you have direction, you stop seeing setbacks as proof that you've failed and start seeing them as lessons shaping your path. Purpose gives you endurance. It makes you resilient. It keeps you grounded when everything else feels uncertain. The more you live with purpose, the less you need validation. You stop needing to be seen because you're already fulfilled in the act of doing what matters. You stop chasing applause and start chasing alignment. You stop striving to reach somewhere and you begin to embrace someone guided by something bigger than achievement, someone who understands that purpose isn't where you're going, but how you choose to go there. You design life or life designs you. Every day, whether you realize it or not, you are shaping the direction your life takes. Every decision, every reaction, every thought you allow to settle in your mind is a brushstroke on the canvas of your future. Some people live as architects of their destiny, deliberate, intentional, aware of the structure they are building. Others drift like leaves in the wind, letting circumstances, opinions, and fears draw the lines for them. The truth is, if you don't design your life, something or someone else will gladly do it for you. When you live reactively, you surrender control to the world around you. You start believing that life just happens to you rather than through you. You allow traffic, weather, other people's moods, or your past mistakes to dictate your present state. You become a passenger in your own journey, constantly responding to whatever comes your way instead of steering toward where you want to go. Life becomes a series of reactions instead of a reflection of your intentions. And over time, those reactions shape habits, and those habits quietly sculpt a reality you never consciously chose. Designing your life doesn't mean controlling everything. It means owning your direction. It means having a vision, not necessarily of the final picture, but of the kind of person you want to be as you move forward. It's not about perfection, it's about participation. You have to be an active participant in your own evolution. Each morning offers you a blank canvas, but too many people begin the day by letting someone else choose the colors. They scroll through noise, absorb comparison, and let the world define what success should look like before they've even taken their first step. Every moment carries a decision: to lead or to follow, to react or to create, to settle or to stretch. When you begin to design your life consciously, you start making choices from a place of clarity instead of confusion. You stop chasing what's urgent and start nurturing what's important. You begin to see that designing your life isn't about chasing endless achievements, but about aligning your daily actions with your deeper values. It's about asking yourself what kind of life feels right, not just what kind of life looks right. Life design starts with awareness. Awareness of your time, your habits, your surroundings, your relationships. It's easy to fill your calendar and call it productivity. But the real question is, are those things moving you closer to the life you actually want? You can be busy and still be lost. You can achieve a lot and still feel empty. True design means taking the time to evaluate whether the direction you're heading in is one you consciously chose or one you simply fell into. It takes courage to design your life intentionally because it means taking responsibility for everything in it. Your results, your patterns, your mindset. It means no longer blaming the world, your past, or anyone else for where you are. It's easier to say, life is unfair, than to ask, what part of this did I create by not choosing differently? But responsibility is freedom. When you take ownership, you gain power. You realize that even if you didn't choose how something began, you always have a say in how it continues. Every design begins with a blueprint, and your blueprint is built from your choices. The words you speak shape your relationships. The thoughts you dwell on shape your energy. The people you surround yourself with shape your perspective. Every little thing contributes to the structure you're building. And when you look around and don't like what you see, it's not a reason for guilt. It's an invitation to redesign. Nothing in life is set in stone. You can revise the blueprint at any moment. There will always be forces trying to pull you off course. Expectations, failures, distractions, doubts. But when you have designed your life with intention, those forces lose their power. You begin to respond instead of react. You make decisions based on values rather than emotions. You stop letting the urgency of the world drown out the quiet voice of your purpose. The storms may come, but design gives you an anchor. It gives you a structure strong enough to withstand uncertainty. Living by design doesn't mean every detail is planned. It means you understand your direction even when the path shifts. It means you have principles to return to when life tests your patience, clarity to guide you when opportunities arise, and purpose to fuel you when motivation fades. You stop waiting for perfect conditions to begin because you know that progress itself is part of the design. Every imperfect step forward becomes a deliberate stroke of creation. The most powerful life is not the one built on luck or chance, but the one built on choice. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can always control how you shape what follows. When you choose to design your life instead of being designed by it, you move from drifting to directing, from reacting to creating, from surviving to living with intention. Challenges are mirrors, not walls. They don't stand in your way to block you. They stand before you to show you who you really are. Every struggle you face reflects something deeper: your fears, your beliefs, your resilience, your patience. When you encounter an obstacle, it's not there to punish you, it's there to reveal you. Most people see difficulty as a signal to stop. But what if it's actually an invitation to understand yourself more fully? What if every challenge is simply life handing you a mirror and asking, who will you be in this moment? When life tests you, it's not trying to destroy you, it's trying to expose what still needs to grow within you. Frustration reveals your expectations. Fear reveals your attachments. Setbacks reveal your strength. It's through pressure that potential takes shape. Just as diamonds form in the depths of the earth, you don't discover how strong you are when everything is easy. You discover it when you are forced to stand firm in the face of uncertainty, when you must continue even when quitting seems more comfortable. Most people view challenges as walls, tall, unmovable, intimidating structures designed to keep them out. But walls don't always exist to stop you. Sometimes they exist to see how badly you want to climb. The difference between the person who grows and the one who gives up is perspective. The one who grows looks at a wall and asks, "How can I get over this?" While the other says, "Why is this happening to me?" The question you ask in moments of struggle defines the meaning you attach to it, and meaning determines whether the moment becomes a limitation or a lesson. Growth doesn't come from comfort. It comes from confrontation, confronting your excuses, your weaknesses, your fears. When you face a challenge, it forces you to meet parts of yourself that you've ignored. It makes you aware of your inner dialogue, your reactions, your true beliefs about what you're capable of. Every challenge is a conversation between who you are and who you could be. Each time you overcome one, you take a step closer to the person you were meant to become. There's beauty in struggle, though it rarely feels that way in the moment. Struggle strips away pretense. It reminds you what matters. It teaches humility, patience, and empathy, qualities that cannot be learned in ease. Challenges bring clarity. They show you which values you truly hold close and which dreams are worth fighting for. Without them, you would drift through life unaware of your depth, mistaking ease for progress. It's the resistance that gives shape to strength, just as a sculptor's chisel gives form to stone. When everything goes right, you enjoy the moment. But when things fall apart, you grow from the moment. Pain sharpens focus. Failure teaches strategy. Discomfort builds endurance. These are not punishments. They're training grounds. Each time life knocks you down, it offers you a chance to rise differently, wiser and stronger. The challenge itself may not be your choice, but your response always is. The mirror doesn't show you what you wish to see. It shows you what you need to see. The reason challenges feel so heavy is that they threaten the stories we tell ourselves. They challenge our identity. When you say, "I can't do this," the challenge responds, "Why not?" It demands evidence for your limitations, and if you're willing to listen, it will show you that most of your barriers exist not in the world, but in your mind. Each time you push through one, you rewrite your self-concept. You begin to see that your limits were never fixed. They were beliefs waiting to be disproven. Every obstacle carries within it an opportunity to choose your perspective. You can see it as something that breaks you or something that builds you. The challenge doesn't define you, your interpretation does. You can look at failure and call it defeat, or you can call it data. Feedback guiding you toward what works. When you treat challenges as mirrors, you stop taking them personally. You start taking them purposefully. You use them as tools for reflection, not weapons for self-doubt. The most powerful people are not those who never struggle. They are not those who use struggle as a form of growth. They have learned to extract meaning from pain, to find lessons in loss, and to see beauty in difficulty. They don't avoid challenges, they lean into them, knowing that every storm reveals something that calm seas never could. They understand that life doesn't test you to see if you're strong, it tests you so that you become strong. When you begin to see challenges this way, fear loses its grip. You stop running from hardship and start learning from it. You recognize that every difficulty carries information about who you are, what you value, and what you still need to strengthen. The mirror is never the enemy, it's your greatest teacher. It reflects not your failures, but your potential, the version of you that emerges only when you stop seeing obstacles as walls and start seeing them as reflections of the strength waiting inside you. Success is not about achievement, it's about becoming. Achievement is measurable, visible, and often praised, but becoming is internal, quiet, and deeply personal. You can achieve titles, wealth, or recognition and still feel empty because external accomplishments can't fill internal voids. Becoming, on the other hand, transforms you from the inside out. It's about evolving into a version of yourself that aligns with your values, your growth, and your truth. Success without becoming is shallow. Becoming without the need for constant validation is what gives your life depth. When you chase only achievements, you start living by checklists, graduate, get promoted, buy a home, reach milestones that society tells you define success. But those are surface, level markers, not reflections of fulfillment. You can complete every task on that list and still feel like something is missing because success built on comparison or expectation is never enough. The process of becoming asks a harder question. Who are you while you're chasing those goals? What kind of person are you becoming through the pursuit? The pursuit of becoming is less about what you gain and more about what you shed. You begin to let go of the masks, the fear of judgment, and the constant pressure to prove yourself. You start focusing less on how things look and more on how they feel. Growth becomes your compass, not applause. In that space, failure stops being a source of shame and becomes a teacher. You realize that every setback, every detour, every quiet moment of doubt is molding you into someone stronger, wiser, and more authentic than before. Achievement is a moment in time, but becoming is continuous. It never ends because there's always more to learn, more to refine, more to understand. You can achieve something once and never touch it again, but becoming is a lifelong process. It's not about climbing one mountain. It's about learning how to climb in any terrain. It's not about reaching a final form. It's about staying open to evolution. When you begin to focus on becoming, you understand that success is not a destination, but a direction that moves as you grow. True fulfillment comes when what you do and who you are begin to align. It's not enough to achieve goals if those goals don't reflect your deeper self. Many people reach impressive milestones, yet feel disoriented because they climb toward someone else's definition of success. Becoming requires honesty, the kind of honesty that asks whether the life you're building matches the person you want to be. It forces you to slow down and evaluate whether your effort is directed by purpose or pressure. Every achievement you reach loses its meaning if it doesn't contribute to your personal growth. Achievements can decorate your life, but they can't define it. They can open doors, but only becoming can help you walk through those doors with confidence and clarity. The true reward of hard work is not the recognition it brings, but the person it shapes you into along the way. It's the patience you develop when progress is slow, the resilience you build after falling, and the discipline you gain when no one's watching. When success is viewed only through achievement, it creates an endless hunger, a need for more, better, faster. You start chasing the next milestone before even appreciating the one you just reached. But when you focus on becoming, you begin to experience peace in the process. You start to measure progress by your growth, not your trophies. You notice that the lessons learned, the courage earned, and the integrity maintained matter more than the outcomes themselves. That's when your definition of success becomes sustainable. Becoming requires presence. It demands that you slow down enough to actually witness your transformation. Most people are so busy achieving that they miss the quiet moments where true change happens. The small decisions, the repeated efforts, the unseen persistence. These moments build character, and character sustains what achievement alone cannot. Without character, success collapses under pressure. Without becoming, achievements fade into noise. The most powerful individuals aren't the ones who have achieved the most, but the ones who have grown the most through what they've achieved. They understand that every accomplishment is temporary, but the person they become because of it is permanent. They don't measure themselves by external wins, but by internal alignment, by how much peace, strength, and integrity they carry regardless of circumstances. They know that success that changes your life is good, but success that changes you is profound. When you focus on becoming, you stop competing and start connecting. You no longer seek validation because your sense of worth comes from growth, not applause. You realize that success isn't found in being better than others, but in being better than who you were yesterday. It's not about reaching the top of the ladder. It's about making sure the ladder is leaning against the right wall. You begin to understand that the ultimate victory is not what you have gained, but who you have become in the process of gaining it. The power lies in choice. Start now. Every moment you are alive, you are surrounded by choices, some small and unnoticed, others so heavy they shape the course of your life. The truth most people overlook is that every decision, no matter how ordinary, carries power. The choice to speak or stay silent, to act or delay, to forgive or resent, to learn or remain the same. These are the threads that weave the fabric of your reality. You may not control everything that happens to you, but you always control the next choice you make in response. Life moves in the direction of your decisions, and the longer you wait to choose, the longer you postpone the life you could already be living. Choice is the foundation of freedom. Many people say they want change, yet they choose comfort instead. They wait for the perfect time, the right feeling, or a clearer sign, but waiting is a choice too. It's a choice to remain where you are, to repeat what you know, to let time decide for you. Every day you postpone a decision, you're making one. The decision to stay the same. Change never begins when conditions are perfect. It begins when courage outweighs hesitation. The power of life doesn't come from what you hope for, it comes from what you choose to do about it. Each choice is a seed, invisible at first but destined to grow. You may not see its effects immediately, but every action plants something into your future. Discipline or regret, progress or stagnation, growth or decay. The life you're living today is the harvest of choices you made long ago. And the life you'll live tomorrow depends on the choices you make now. The smallest daily choices, how you spend your time, how you treat others, what you believe about yourself, shape the landscape of your destiny. Choice requires awareness. Too often, people make decisions unconsciously, letting emotions, fears, or old patterns take control. They confuse reaction with intention. To reclaim your power, you must slow down and ask, is this choice leading me closer to who I want to be or further away? Every time you choose with awareness, you pull yourself back into alignment with your purpose. You stop drifting and start directing. Conscious choice is the difference between being pulled by life and leading it. It takes courage to choose differently. The human mind craves certainty and familiarity, even when those things keep us small. To make a new choice often means stepping into uncertainty, and uncertainty can feel terrifying. But that's also where transformation begins. Every powerful change in history, every personal breakthrough, began with someone daring to choose differently, to say no to what's comfortable and yes to what's possible. Courage doesn't erase fear, it simply refuses to let fear make the choice. Starting now is the hardest part because it exposes you. It forces you to confront your excuses, your doubts, your procrastination. You tell yourself you'll begin when you have more time, more money, more clarity. But waiting is the most expensive habit you can have. The longer you wait, the heavier your dreams become. They don't disappear, they just sit inside you, waiting to be acted upon, weighing you down with what-ifs. Action, no matter how small, breaks that weight. The moment you start, even imperfectly, you reclaim your momentum. Choice is a habit. The more you practice choosing consciously, the more natural it becomes. Each deliberate decision strengthens your sense of agency, and each time you follow through, you build trust in yourself. That self-trust becomes your foundation. The quiet confidence that tells you you're capable of handling whatever comes next. You stop needing guarantees because you've proven to yourself that action creates its own answers. The first choice builds momentum. The next one builds transformation. There will always be uncertainty around you, but your choices are the constant you can depend on. The world might shift, plans might collapse, people might disappoint you, yet you still hold the ability to choose your next step, your next word, your next attitude. That is where true power lies, not in control, but in response. Life isn't about avoiding the unpredictable, it's about choosing how to meet it with awareness and intention. Choice shapes identity. Every decision is a statement about who you believe yourself to be. When you choose discipline, you declare that your goals matter. When you choose kindness, you affirm that compassion defines you. When you choose persistence, you announce that giving up is not in your nature. Over time, your choices become your character. The person you become tomorrow is not built by one big leap, but by the steady rhythm of decisions you make today. The moment you realize that choice is your greatest tool, you stop waiting for permission and start creating direction. You understand that the only thing between where you are and where you want to be is the decision to begin. And while the path ahead might not be clear, clarity grows from movement. Every time you choose to take one more step, no matter how small, you remind yourself that life does not happen by chance. It happens by choice, and that choice begins right now.